A Week in the Country, tonight on the scene at 10.
Tonight on 1986.
Hands up, driver. Driver, get down on the ground over here. Don't put your hands in your pocket. You're under arrest, possession of marijuana for sale.
We're losing the battle. The drug dealers and drug pushers have the streets right now.
How old are you? 16. 16.
I wonder how many people you guys have killed and not known it.
Times change, you know. We just couldn't keep up here.
Hetland and a lot of other towns like it in the surrounding area and in the whole Midwest have a case of cancer, and slowly they're dying, despairing. Yes, I did take the man's life.
If Dennis Wheeler had the right to protect himself and his home, does he have the right to shoot someone?
Under that law, he sure does.
It's crazy. A law that's called Make My Day for taking a person's life. He shot 25 times. That's not protection yourself, that's murder.
Good evening. This is the October 14th edition of 1986. I'm Connie Chung.
And I'm Roger Mudd. We hear drug stories every day now, but somehow by the time we hear them, they seem distant, full of statistics and expert opinions and the urgings and warnings of government people. But where the problem starts, it's not distant at all. It's dirty and grim and dangerous.
That's the way two Los Angeles police officers you're about to meet know the drug problem at terribly close range. As Noah Nelson reports, for these two cops and for the people in their world, mostly kids, drugs and life and death are what happen every day on the street.
Stop! Stop!
Get over here! Right now!
Hands up!
Get here!
Hands up! Hands up! Get up! Get up off!
Down on the ground!
I want you on the ground.
Okay.
Hands behind your back.
It's down on the
Spread your
ground.
legs out. Spread your legs out. All the way out. Settle your face in the ground. You.
To Detective Frank Goldberg, every day on the street and every confrontation is dangerous.
Hands up, driver. Driver, get down on the ground over here. Don't put your hands in your pocket.
Goldberg, 37, has been a cop for 15 years. His current assignment, juvenile narcotics.
Be real careful. We do lay our lives on the line. We do that every day. I'll need an FI on this guy, okay?
Shut up! I want to see your hands all the time. I get real nervous.
It is a small bust, and Detective Sam Capuano, Goldberg's partner, is under no illusion about its effect on LA's drug traffic.
Anybody got any dope? No? We're losing the battle right now. The drug dealers and drug pushers have the streets right now. They're in control.
Hey, partner.
Capuano, 40, knows this neighborhood well. He grew up here, but he remembers quieter times.
There's a little bit of cocaine right here. Okay, you're under arrest. You? Sales of cocaine. You're under arrest, possession of marijuana for sales.
This is a street scene that happens many times a day in South Central Los Angeles. The elements are usually the same. Young people, police, drugs, and guns.
12-gauge shotgun.
Earlier this year, Goldberg and Capuano seized the biggest cache of money, guns, and cocaine in the history of the juvenile narcotics section. Their boss, Lieutenant Ron Hall, calls them some of the best street cops in Los Angeles.
What makes them different? They really care. They really care. They never tire their efforts to try and stop drug abuse and to help kids. You'll see them on the streets talking to arrestees, trying to educate them, trying to prevent them from losing their life through drug abuse.
How's it going?
Put your hands on your head.
We just arrested you a few days ago. You're back out at the same place.
I'm trying to tell y'all something, man.
Goldberg and Capuano want to know why this 16-year-old is still hanging around one of the hottest drug blocks in the area.
You're just wasting your life and risking your neck out here.
What's going to happen to you? You're going to get killed out here, aren't you? Don't kids get killed?
These little lectures you have in the street, what do they serve?
Well, we try to reach the kids on a personal level. Most of the kids we deal with are in that area now where the only thing you can reach him on, maybe, is to talk about how dangerous it is to his life. Right. And even then, sometimes that doesn't even work.
We just had a 15-year-old killed running up to a car to sell rock cocaine, and he was shot once in the heart. That happens on a daily basis.
Frank Goldberg and Sam Capuano work on the run. They are two of only a half-dozen plainclothes detectives assigned to juvenile narcotics in this part of the city, an area of 1 million people.
What's happening, man? What you guys doing? Yeah, where's all the rocks at? You got a beeper on you, man. Where's all the rocks?
The rock in question is rock cocaine, also known as crack. It is potent, easy to make, and profitable for the teenage merchants who deal it.
Face the house.
Face the house.
You always carry $1,000 in cash? The kids out here, especially the kids that are dealing coke, they've got $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in cash on them. When's the last time you were arrested? He carries a beeper so he can get beeped when the rock house has sold off all the coke, or he's going to go make a money run.
Goldberg and Capuano say in the last few years, they've seen teenage drug dealing turn into a sophisticated and violent business. They see this part of the city as almost forsaken ground, little cared about by those outside of it. They see themselves as more than just cops. They function as teachers, counselors, perhaps even father figures. They try to reach the hearts and minds of these kids by talking to them in a language they can understand.
Listen to me, don't BS me, okay? You guys got caught today. You guys are out here slinging cocaine, and you got caught.
I'm glad you guys are doing something about it.
Well, we try. We try.
It ain't worth living in no more. I don't know.
Yeah. Every day I talk to good people that are fed up with the system.
And I just hope that what little I do will cause some effect in the society for the betterment of the society.
Because the marketplace for drugs is so brazenly open, part of their job is easy. They cruise, they wait, they find what they're looking for.
Most of your adult offenders, your adult dealers, use kids to traffic dope because they know that the kids out in the street, the sidewalk peddler, they can get away with it. It does get somewhat disillusioning after a while.
But there's excitement too, especially when you do a good job. And you're able to get the bad guy and get the evidence and get it all ready for court. That makes you feel good. We want to turn here?
Yeah, we want to turn here.
Oh, this guy's right here. Right here.
I'm going to jam him.
Okay.
Hand in pocket.
Hands on your head.
Over here.
How do you think the people in the communities feel about you? A couple of white guys cracking down on people in their communities.
I think most of the people in South Central Los Angeles appreciate us. But got a couple more bags over
Another
here.
bag over here. We're trying.
There's too many of them and too few of us. The problem is, partner, you're the reason why the people are breaking into houses and stealing purses. Yeah. Isn't that right? Isn't that right?
Looks like from this literature you believe in Jesus Christ or God. Is that true?
Yeah.
Did he want you to sell dope?
No. You got about the preaching there, Sam.
If Capuano sounds like a preacher, perhaps at heart he is. From an Italian Catholic family, he at one point studied for the priesthood, but in 1969, he became a cop.
So the idea of helping others was just ingrained in all of us. So I didn't find it a great disparity in leaving the seminary and going into this line of work.
A lot of coke out in the street, isn't there?
Capuano is single. Goldberg is married and has 2 children. To both men, religion and family are important.
What really kept me out of trouble, and I mean this sincerely, I came from a good family background. My mother's an Italian Catholic, my father was an Orthodox Jew. And I thought so much of my folks, of my family, that I didn't want to embarrass them, and I didn't want to break their heart. And that's what we talk to kids about. We talk to them about the feelings that they have for their folks.
Hey!
But religion and reason aren't always the tools that work.
See your hands, guys. See your hands right here. Ho! Ho!
On West 58th Street, they find a little marijuana.
Put your hands on your head.
On you right now.
But the boy they believe is carrying the cocaine gets away.
The dope man left already. He beat me to the fence. Tell you what we'll do. We'll write you a little ticket for possession of marijuana and let you go. How's that sound? Do you like that?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do, instead of booking you. Is that pretty fair?
Can you get the marijuana back? Yeah.
No, we can't have the weed
that's
back.
evidence.
We can't have the weed back. Is this your son?
I ask the Lord to save him every day.
Yeah, you asked the Lord to save him?
Yeah.
Well, son of a gun, that's a good idea. What's the tattoo on your right arm?
55,
Tattoo.
big grease.
As it turns out, Big Grease is on probation for possession of cocaine. This time he gets a ticket for possession of marijuana.
Walk backwards.
Everyone is released, including this 15-year-old we'll call Jerome.
They know who we are.
2 days later, Goldberg and Capuano go back to West 58th.
They do know our van, so.
Yeah.
They spot Jerome and others at a house across the street from where they busted Big Grease.
That is okay. Just let me know if you see anything there. Anybody? What's the one guy doing? Okay, there goes the runner. Let me out, Sam.
Okay. There's 4 of them, Frank.
Hold it! Hands on your head, man.
Track.
Hands on your head. Out here. Hands on your head, man. Put your hands on your head. Put your hands behind your head. Up against the wall here. Up against the wall. Face the wall. Over here, man.
Hands behind your back.
How old are you? 16. 16. How old are you? 14. 14. Did you get rid of the dope? Yeah, it wasn't yours. Oh, yeah, it was the other dude's dope, huh?
We can pull it right in here.
How many rocks?
Look at all that rock on the porch there.
This is rock cocaine here. 8 King 323, can I have a backup at my location? I saw you
That's
run,
right.
and I saw you run.
It's your cocaine, buddy. It's
You
your
ran.
cocaine.
Toyota, suspect code 24.
My partner and I go out every day. We expect danger, and we have to go out, confront a situation. The suspect may be armed. Police! Police! It's like Dodge City with no marshal. They're on your porch cutting up rock cocaine.
You raised the wrong house.
Well, maybe you tell us where it's at.
Tell us
I
where
don't
it is.
know where it's at.
We told them kids to stop selling dope here. We begged them to stop. They wouldn't stop. We don't have nothing to do with this. We don't know nothing about it.
Okay.
I know you have a hard job, sir.
You bet we have a hard
I know
job.
you have a hard job.
You know what really makes it hard?
Why?
Is that we keep going to court on the same kids. You have a seat here. And we keep going to court on the same dealers.
Yeah.
Over and over again. That makes it hard. What would happen if there weren't any police today? What would happen?
The world would come to an end.
You said it right there. I like you.
Right.
Put it, I like you.
The world would come to an end.
That's true. You got it.
Seized are 21 grams of cocaine worth $6,000. 3 teenagers are arrested, including Jerome. It is near the end of a long day.
All right, let's go.
But Goldberg and Capuano aren't through.
Okay, I'm Detective Goldberg. This is Detective Capuano. We work juvenile narcotics.
Back at the station, they go through a routine they've done 1,000 times before.
All 3 of you guys are under arrest for possession of cocaine for the purpose of sales, okay?
They think Jerome, in the gray sweatshirt, is the leader. Suddenly, Jerome's pager goes off.
Who's calling you? That's your girlfriend calling you. Well, she must you know you're here at the police station, huh? You're 15. Yeah. And you have a beeper for your girlfriend. Oh, my girlfriend. We arrest drug dealers and drug users every day of our lives. So don't tell me the beeper's for your girlfriend, all right? Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult my partners.
Jerome turns out to be part of a street gang. Judging from his jewelry, business appears to be good.
14 karat for a 15-year-old. How did you get $600 when you don't have a job?
I got some of them for my sister, some for my brother-in-law.
Some from your sister and some from your brother-in-law. Very generous people. You think a judge is going to believe that people just give you money? People just give you $1,000?
When they checked the rap sheets, they found Jerome has been arrested 3 times in the last 3 months.
So once a month, on the average, you get arrested for a felony, cocaine-related, on the average, once a month. That's pretty neat, isn't it?
And you've been arrested for sales of cocaine. That's who you are.
You got the wrong files, man.
No, listen to me. This is you. Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
correct?
yeah, that's my name
Is that
right there.
you?
Yeah, that's me.
The only way we can keep you safe in the community is to take you out of the community. Because you're going to get killed out there by doing exactly what you're doing repeatedly, time after time after time.
Or you're going to get somebody else killed. More than likely, somebody else will die instead of you.
From the rock that you're selling.
That's right.
I wonder how many people you guys have killed and not known it by the rock.
But you guys don't care, do you? You don't care who dies out there, do you?
Because they wanted it.
Do you? You don't care who dies.
3 weeks later, Jerome is convicted of cocaine and marijuana charges. The other 2 plead guilty.
How do you feel when you see these young people, in essence, dealing their lives away?
Sure, there's a lot of outrage, a lot of anger that we're not effective enough to keep this guy from doing what he's doing. I feel frustration at the system because I only do a little part of it.
Most of the kids we arrest who are first-time offenders, they get put on probation. Okay, second-time offenders.
Is that
put on
right?
probation.
Should they go to jail?
First time? Yes, they should. They should go to jail. It might just shake him up enough to realize that what he's done is wrong, and hey, I better clean up my act. I don't want to relinquish my freedom. Give me the script on this guy here.
He's a male black.
It won't take long for Jerome and his friends to be back on the streets. Goldberg and Capuano believe they'll all be seeing each other again. Back on West 58th Street, we tried to interview Jerome's grandfather, Robert Smith.
Well, it's pretty bad in this neighborhood. It's really bad.
Without warning, we were attacked.
Okay, but in the meantime, that particular child...
Oh, God.
Call a doctor.
Oh.
They shot back here?
From an alley behind the house, someone threw a rock and hit NBC soundman Willis Shobe on the head. Shobe recovered, but needed 35 stitches. The suspect got away. According to Goldberg and Capuano, it was a warning not to come back to West 58th Street.
We, especially as narcotic detectives, don't take life for granted. And we're the last draw. And the last hope from a lot of people that don't have much to hope for.
There are many streets like West 58, with thousands of young lives, threatened by easy money, fast times, and death.
Okay, Phyllis, turn around and talk to my partner real quick here.
Goldberg and Capuano aren't sure their message gets through. They ignore the odds that say they make little difference here. They believe it is their job to try.
Once in a while, we touch a kid in the streets, but for the most part, we can't change their attitude.
It's out of our hands.
Oldsmobile quality. You'll not only hear it, you'll feel it.
Flight 124, fly runway heading to 3000, right turns 270. You are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing DuPont Certified Stainmaster Carpet. Stainmaster gives you a revolutionary new level of protection against stains and spills that's better than any other carpet you can buy today. Because you never know. New Stainmaster from DuPont Carpet Fibers.
Prepare yourself for Oriental Classics. A whole new way to enjoy great Oriental dinners at home. You add fresh meat or chicken. We add crunchy vegetables, luscious sauce, and fluffy rice. It's the freshest sweet and sour you'll ever sink your chopsticks into. New Oriental Classics from Betty Crocker. Fresh Oriental taste at home at last.
Where do we put all this?
Well, I know where to put those sweaty shirts.
Like the garbage?
No, the wash.
Yeah, it stinks.
Wash it in Surf. Unlike detergents that just cover up odors, Surf actually removes both dirt and odors.
Hey, my shirt looks clean.
Smells clean too, Dad.
Good. You may sleep in it if I don't find your pajamas.
Surf removes both the dirt and the odors.
Wednesday on Highway to Heaven. Will an old man and a karate kid get some heavenly help? Then on Gimme a Break.
My baby done joined the gang.
Have Nell's fears come true?
I'm calling Phil Donahue. This is a cry for help.
And on You Again, when Matt rocks with the Beach Boys, the laugh rolls.
Come on, Wednesday.
Wednesday on St. Elsewhere, Dr. Craig toys with his past.
All aboard!
While Luther gambles with his future.
I hope it gets infected. I quit.
Perhaps we just imagined it. Perhaps we just imagined that this was a country of small towns, full of settled folk living on streets called Elm and Oak and Poplar. Of course, we didn't imagine it, but if you travel the back roads now, especially through the Great Plains, you might almost convince yourself that you had. Because, as Lucky Severson reports, the small towns where farmers bought their supplies and took their families on Saturday nights, those small towns are fast becoming shadows.
at least half, maybe more than half, of the farms around here just disappeared. The buildings are gone and everything.
All the little towns and all the little communities are going to have real problems going anywhere except downhill.
Welcome to the Great Plains. This is Route 14, about 25 miles west of Interstate 29 at the Hetland turnoff. Welcome to roads less traveled, to one of many fading farm towns. As one Hetland resident put it, you got here just in time.
I counted up within 2 miles east and 4 miles on the other 3 sides. There used to be 120 farms. Today there's 31 left. When I look at our way of life, the way we've had it here in Hetland, boy, we were all one big family. That's just about what it amounts to.
Not much of that family left anymore. 60 people out of 400. Not many of those 5-grain elevators either. In fact, only one.
The farmers here owe us, some of them owe us quite a bit of money yet. We have about $230,000 worth of accounts receivable that we give it to them in good faith, and we actually believe that when the money comes back, if it ever does, it'll be in good faith. You know, they'll pay if they can, but if the market doesn't change, if it doesn't get better, I don't see any way that the farmer can survive right now. Hetland and a lot of other towns like it in the surrounding area and in the whole Midwest have a case of cancer, and slowly they're dying, disappearing.
What the elevator operator fears, the government man confirms.
Since the beginning of this year, about 8-10 people around this Hetland area in Kingsbury County are going to have foreclosures, bankruptcies, voluntary liquidations. That's just since January the 10th. So those people won't be supporting this community anymore. They're going out of the farming business. You did just get here just in time if you want to see the community in that.
Should we go valsing?
40th anniversaries and funerals are more common here than weddings and children.
Did you say Everett died yesterday?
Well, they found him yesterday.
I doubt it. Yeah.
For crying out loud.
We're all concerned about educating our kids. We wanted high school education, then we wanted college for them, and when they got college education, there was nothing to do back here. And this isn't just Hetland.
You're one of the few businesses left in town, aren't you?
Yeah.
How is business?
Now, poor.
The blacksmith, you remember him, Dale Anderson. Been here all his life. We're sitting on the steps of what used to be the bank. With Red Stangland between us, he knows all about Hetland.
I remember the people mostly, probably the most Mayberry kind of town you could imagine.
Hetland?
Hetland was the typical Mayberry, Lake Wobegon, all in one. Big sense of humor. Everybody played pranks. Some of the pranks weren't too funny. They set a guy on fire when he was tied around a post about a block from here, and they tried to...
That's not too funny.
No, I mean, they carried their sense of humor a little too far. They tried to hang my brother.
Yeah, he's a king. I used to hear Reagan announce ball games years ago, and now he's president. He announced WHO Des Moines in the 30s. This town is supposed to be 100 years old in 2 years. There's nobody who wants to have a centennial celebration. Nothing to celebrate. 2, is that right, Skinny?
And at one time, this town was known as a bachelor's town. There was bachelors dripping from every roof and hanging from all the trees. But there's only about one bachelor left in the whole town. So that's changed too. Now it's mostly widows. The bachelors have passed away.
Those crunch cereal taste that
Like homemade.
We had so many stores, we had grocery stores, and a lot of buildings, businesses here. But now there's nothing. So you're pretty caught.
I can remember there being cars lined up solid on both sides of the street here in the evening so that I couldn't even get in and out of my garage. Business was good enough that I can remember of going home for dinner at noon and counting up that I had serviced 13, 14, 15 cars in the forenoon.
Up that way was the old Bijou Opera house, right?
That's right.
That's the one.
Still there.
Do you have any famous people performing in there? Well, they tell me Lawrence Welk played there at least once or twice, maybe more. Really?
Dates and their chicks give out with jitterbug tricks.
50 years ago, 1 in 3 of us lived in rural America. Today, 1 in 50.
Well, I can remember when this town of Hetland had 2 gas stations, 2 garages, a restaurant, a
There was a hotel right down here in the corner, and they would serve 150 meals.
Saturday night used to be daughter and egg night. You took your daughter and your eggs to town and tried to get rid of them.
Barber shop.
A couple of 2, 3 saloons.
2 beer joints, 2 grocery stores. Yeah, now there ain't nothing left.
Lee Lodge, Leo Dembski was the owner of it
The
then.
guys bought that for $50.
Sold the good house in town the other day for $1,000.
A house?
I did. For the whole house. The good house.
5 years from now, if I'm
Some
not
of us
here,
will
the
be
house
gone.
will go down just like the rest of the houses that are going. Nobody will want to
We'll
come.
just move out, that's
Well,
all.
there
Leave
is
the
no
houses.
store, no place to buy gas.
Maybe you could have a McDonald's here and start with 1 arch.
Well, that could be, but...
Order a Big Mac out of a catalog. Hetland's one-building school system died in stages. This is what's left. Cobwebs, carved initials. You can etch your name in dust. The high school closed in '49, the elementary in 1971. Once they were students and teachers here, and for one afternoon, for us, they came back.
I tell you, it was just a lot of fun, because after school, everybody went uptown to get ice cream and candy, and it was just a lot of fun. But times change, you know. We just couldn't keep up here.
Georgie.
And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look to you with favor and grant you his peace. Amen.
Hetland was named after a farmer who was mysteriously murdered while he was driving his team of horses down to Sioux Falls. According to one version, his body ended up in a lake and his horses in Montana. But there's no mystery about what's happening to his namesake town and hundreds of more like it here on the Great Plains.
Who can keep our Hetland down?
Those haunting images of shuttered houses and rusting gates are not unique to Hetland, of course. Kingsbury County, South Dakota, where Hetland is located, has seen the number of its farm owners shrink by 1/4 in the last 27 years. And in the decade between 1970 and 1980, the county's population fell 13% overall. It seems that the answer to the once jolly question, how are you going to keep them down on the farm, is you're not.
1986 will be back in a moment. When we return, we'll examine a Colorado law that some say is a license to kill. And we'll look back at some great hits of the past, great World Series hits. Be right back.
Now I can open Campbell's soup with my bare hands. I've discovered Campbell's soup in a box. The dry onion soup's so good, you know it's Campbell.
No one wants to be in this position. It's late at night. There's a noise in the house, footsteps, or some other sign of a threat. An intruder. What do? If you have a weapon, do you pick it up and try to defend yourself? If you do kill the intruder, what happens then? Recognizing that many Americans now feel that the law too often protects criminals rather than victims, at least 12 states have passed statutes that tend to minimize the consequences when a citizen does react to a threat. These laws are not without controversy. Critics in Colorado claim that their law is really a license to kill, and they've given it a nickname that seems to have stuck. Make my day.
Sir?
Yes.
Can I get your name, please?
Dennis Wheeler.
Wheeler?
Yes. I had a person just break into my house and start giving me hassle, and I shot him.
Dennis Wheeler knew the man he killed that cold December night.
He came in to kill me or kick my ass.
They both had been involved with the same woman, Alice. She had left Wheeler. That night, Wheeler tried to see Alice at the home she shared with Dwayne Rolando.
And I drove by just to see if she would say anything to me, I guess, and went on home.
Did she say anything to you?
No, she did not.
Dwayne Rolando was home when Alice rushed in and told him Wheeler was bothering her. Rolando got in his car and went straight to Wheeler's home.
Upon hearing the noise outside, I just glanced, opened the curtains just enough to see who was coming or what was going on outside. When I spotted the other gentleman, Dwayne Rolando, getting out of his mini Blazer at the time, and I panicked. And I went back into my bedroom, and I picked up a Smith & Wesson revolver that I had at the time out of a nightstand, and I went back downstairs. My only thought was I have to protect myself at all costs. And I sat down in a corner of the house where a recliner was with the pistol by my side.
You were sitting in the reclining chair and the pistol was right by your side.
Yes.
And what happened?
The door pushed open, and there was Mr. Rolando coming in my house. And at that point, I simply panicked. He pointed his finger at me and said, "I told you, you son of a bitch, to leave Alice alone." Something to that effect.
Did you have any reason to believe that he was armed?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I had heard statements reported to me from people in the community that they had heard him in a bar stating that he would either kick my ass if he ever had the opportunity if I didn't leave his girlfriend alone.
Did you think that he was armed that night?
I didn't wait to see if he had anything, and in my fear, I simply pulled up the revolver and made a statement and fired 2 shots, and he fell back out of my house.
Today in Colorado, there's a new law that says a homeowner is justified in killing an intruder if a crime is being committed and if that homeowner feels threatened, no matter how slight the threat. Not only is the homeowner justified, he is immune from prosecution. A Clint Eastwood movie prompted a name for this law.
Go ahead. Make my day.
The Make My Day law. Frontier justice has long prevailed in these Colorado mountains, yet the violent death of Dwayne Rolando stunned the quiet town of Hayden. Wheeler was the principal of the local elementary school, and he had killed a coal miner, a man he said had threatened him. Dwayne Rolando's brother, Chuck, understands frontier justice, but he says his brother wasn't even armed that night.
We was raised, if you couldn't talk it out, then you fought it out, but you never shot it out.
Chuck and his wife Josie took us back to the townhouse where his brother was killed. Didn't your brother know that Dennis Wheeler liked guns and had guns and may be violent?
He was a school principal. I've seen the man. He never looked violent.
Dennis Wheeler didn't look violent to you?
No, not to me. No, he wouldn't. It takes all kinds. It's scary, but you never know. He just didn't strike me as the kind that was violent. Evidently he was.
At the time of the shooting, the Make My Day law was not on the books. Dennis Wheeler was arrested, and the prosecutor, Greg Long, charged him with first-degree murder.
Dennis Wheeler, if it had not happened that night, sooner or later, in my mind, given the way Dennis Wheeler felt about guns and the way Dennis Wheeler was about people, sooner or later, in my mind, he'd have killed somebody somewhere. Dwayne opened the door that you can see slightly ajar there. And even from the defendant's testimony, we know he opened the door, pointed his finger at him, said something to him, took 1 bullet through the hand into his face, and fell back. 3 more shots were then fired down into him while he was lying there on the deck.
And the more Greg Long looked at the evidence, the more he was convinced that Dennis Wheeler was an angry man, frustrated by his inability to talk to Alice. Wheeler looked down on Rolando, called him a lowlife, and Long concluded the night of the shooting, Dennis Wheeler was primed for a violent confrontation.
Dennis Wheeler had all kinds of options other than the avenue that he took.
Greg Long does not know me as a person.
You're not violent?
No, I'm not a violent person.
Instead of going down and locking the door, instead of calling from upstairs, what he did was go into the adjacent bedroom, get a gun out of the drawer, take it out of the zippered case, go downstairs right past the door, which could have been locked, and sit in the chair there in the dark and wait for Dwayne to come in and open the door.
Why didn't you lock the door?
I didn't even think of anything other than self-preservation, and unlocking the door didn't enter my mind.
But if you had locked the door ahead of time, then he wouldn't have been able to come in.
Yes, I'm sure that, well, I don't know. He was mad enough to me that he would have broke the door down if it would have been locked.
Between the night of the killing and the beginning of the trial, the Colorado legislature passed the Make My Day law.
We were concerned about the Make My Day law because it was, in our minds, an unnecessary law that was an invitation to homicide. And we were concerned that in cases like Wheeler's, it would result in some people escaping responsibility for homicide. The whole problem with that statute is it's an invitation not to use your head.
It's a license to kill?
Sure, shoot first, think later.
In a pretrial motion, Wheeler's lawyer asked the judge to make the law retroactive and dismiss charges against Dennis Wheeler. Bill Skirman argued Wheeler should be immune from prosecution under the new law.
I ask him because, in my opinion, the law is to be applied retroactively to Dennis Wheeler's case and to avoid what I think is a manifest injustice where someone is convicted of a crime for the same conduct which would not now be a crime.
Is Isn't the Make My Day law really a license to kill and not be held accountable?
Absolutely not. The intent of the legislature is that anybody has the right to expect absolute safety in their home. And whether it's a little old lady or Dennis Wheeler or anybody else.
Rolando's opening the door arguably would have put the Make My Day section into effect had it been law at the time the killing occurred. And it troubled the judge.
As it turned out, the judge refused to apply the new law. A jury heard the case and found Dennis Wheeler guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced him to 9 years in prison. Had the judge ruled otherwise, no jury would have ever heard this case.
If 12 of Dennis Wheeler's peers, who believe that you ought to have a right to protect yourself in the home, found that that was an unnecessary killing, then why in the world, in fact situations like that, should we remove that decision from the jury and make a judge, in effect, dismiss that case before the facts are presented to a jury? And that's the thrust of what Make My Day is doing around the state as it's being interpreted by the courts.
The few times the Make My Day law has been used in Colorado, it did not involve strange intruders on unsuspecting homeowners. Last spring, a long-standing neighborhood dispute ended in bloodshed. The judge who set the killer free in that case said the Make My Day law is ridiculous, but he had to enforce it. And there are other cases similarly dismissed because of the law. A minister who killed an angry parishioner, and a jealous husband who wrestled a knife from a rival and stabbed him 32 times.
After following so many other cases where the Make My Day bill has been used in the state that are real ironic cases, mine doesn't seem any more absurd or even half as ludicrous as some of those cases are.
Wheeler's case is not over. After serving 11 months in prison, he's out on appeal. Wheeler claims the judge was wrong by deciding the Make My Day law could not be retroactive in his case. If the court ultimately finds in his favor, Dennis Wheeler will remain free.
It's crazy. A law that's called Make My Day for taking a person's life, and it wasn't even in effect when this happened. Can't make laws retroactive like pay or something like that. It's basically murder laws, where a man's life's taken. Families tore apart, and his kids don't know how to father no more. Once, maybe, he was protecting himself, but he shot Dwayne 5 times. That's not protecting yourself. It's murder.
Yes, I did take the man's life. And I took it in fear. And I took it because he came in my home. I did not go to his home. I didn't hunt him down like people said that I had tried to do.
You didn't kill him in cold blood?
I didn't kill him in any kind of blood other than out of my own fear.
Dennis Wheeler's lawyer will be filing the opening brief in his appeal next month, but he estimates that it may take as long as 2 years for the court to rule on the appeal. In the meantime, Wheeler will remain free on bond. He's no longer working as an elementary school principal.
The Volvo 760, the car for people whose means have changed, but whose values haven't.
Why just eat at home tonight when cooking with Cheese Glorious Cheese can take you anywhere? Try a taste of Texas with a Colby tamale pie. Warm up to a bowl of Yankee seafood and Gouda chowder. Or bake up a Chicago deep dish pizza with lots of mozzarella. Visit your Dairy Case today for your free regional cheese recipes and enter the Cook Regional with Cheese Sweepstakes. You can win some real tasty prizes.
Y'all ever been to Georgia?
Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. The Panasonic modular electronic typewriter lets you customize for your specific needs. Expand its memory. Add a character display. Over 1,000 ways to make your work easier. Panasonic modular typewriters. Like our copiers, computers, and peripherals, the easier the better. Panasonic Office Automation.
I am so pleased with these new caplets. Finally, somebody put the medicine I prefer into easy-to-take coated caplets.
Introducing new Anacin caplets, the only coated caplets with a formula containing aspirin, the pain-relieving medicine doctors recommend most.
The coating makes it so easy to swallow.
New Anacin caplets with a protective coating for easy swallowing.
I like the strength and the coating.
New Anacin caplets with strong doctor-recommended medicine. Anacin, doctor-recommended, now in coated caplets, too.
Thursday on Cheers, Sam and Diane turned Frasier into a love machine.
We both want to be animals.
But will they have to pull the plug? Then on Night Court when Dan gets an offer.
Ever fool around at work?
How far will he go?
What goes through that man's head?
And on Hill Street Blues,
Get out of there!
is it a countdown to the end?
Thursday!
Two women in love. How far will they go
Would you let yourself get pregnant?
to marry the man of their dreams?
Who says I'm not going after what I want?
Richard Gere.
You're not going to marry this girl.
Don't do it, Paula. Let him go. I've loved you since I met you.
Deborah Winger.
Don't you understand?
An officer and a gentleman. Monday.
What was it about the 1975 World Series, particularly the sixth game, a game called one of the classics in baseball history by the Encyclopedia of Baseball? The Cincinnati Reds met the Boston Red Sox for the first time in a World Series. Cincinnati had not won a series since 1940, 35 years. Boston had not won a series since 1918, 57 years. Cincinnati had the best record in baseball in 1975. They won their division title by 20 games, swept the playoffs, 3 straight. With good reason, they were called the Big Red Machine. Boston played all year with drama and flair, turning their normally devoted followers into fanatics. They won their division by 4.5 games, and then they too swept the playoffs, 3 in a row. It was Tuesday, October 21st, 1975. A 3-day nor'easter delayed the 6th game. Everyone was eager to continue this seesaw series that Cincinnati was leading 3 games to 2. If Cincinnati won the 6th game, the series was over. But if Boston won, these two well-matched opponents would go to a 7th and final meeting. The stage was set for what most fans now just call the game. The rosters were filled with names now woven into baseball's tapestry. Pete Rose, Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench, Louis Tiant, Tony Perez, Carl Yastrzemski, Joe Morgan, Fred Lynn, George Foster, Satch Davidson. Yes, Satch Davidson was also present. He was the umpire behind home plate.
I would say this would probably be the high point of my career.
Davidson is retired now in Houston, but for 16 seasons, he was a National League umpire. We showed him a tape of Boston versus Cincinnati, 6th game, 1975 World Series.
Top of the 8th inning, it'll be Cesar Geronimo to lead it off for the Cincinnati Reds. Well hit right field, that ball. If it's fair, she's gone. It is a fair ball. Home run for Geronimo.
I'm thinking at this time, well, it's going to be a quick night. Of course, the Reds have the lead, and I think in 2 innings, the game will be over with, and comfortable lead. But things changed.
Boston had not scored since the 1st inning. They were losing 6-3. 8th inning. With 2 out and 2 on base, pinch hitter Bernie Carbo became a Boston monument.
Deep center field, way back. We're tied up.
Then, the thoughts in my mind then, I said, uh-oh, this is going to be a long, long night. Of all things, which really made him happy was against his former teammates. Just one of those games where the storybooks will tell you. You have to dream it up instead of, but it's real. It was just as real as can be.
Oh, boy. Right now, it's game 6 all tied up. Bottom of the 9th.
Boston had the bases loaded with nobody out. Fred Lynn, who had homered in the 1st inning, came to bat.
They're tagging up at third. Here comes the throw. It is in time.
That was a tremendous play. You know, that's something where, look at how close that ball is to the wall. And he threw the ball perfect. And Bench is probably one of the better catchers in baseball history in blocking a plate. That's a great play. Great play.
So they went into extra innings. The late columnist Red Smith said about this game, it was melodrama piled on heroics. Cincinnati threatened in the 11th. There was a man on first, one out. Joe Morgan was at the plate.
Well hit, right field, deep. Evans is going back near the wall, and oh, what a catch he made! What a catch by Dwight Evans, and it's a double play.
Oh my, that was the greatest play in World Series history right there, I think, because first of all, I don't think Evans had any idea that he had the ball, and then when he catches the ball, he looks to make sure, and then that's what this game was all about. Great plays, great hits. Oh, outstanding, outstanding.
Bottom of the 12th inning.
I've been in a lot of long games that have just gone 9 innings, but now we're looking at going into the 12th inning, and the score was tied, and I thought maybe it might go 20.
It was 12:33 a.m. The score tied 6-6 when Carlton Fisk stepped up to the plate for Boston.
There's the ball.
There's an ecstatic young man rounding those bases there. And to have been a part of that game, I'm really happy because I know it'll go down in history as one of the greatest. Watch this ball. Just hit that pole. What a nice swing. Oh, that's a real baseball swing right there, see? Go fair, go fair. Yay. Atta-way to go. The game's over with. We win, he's saying. Going to the 7th game. Oh, gee whiz. There's nothing so exciting as a World Series.
So Boston pulled it out of the fire that long night in 1975, but they lost the series the next day. And now they find themselves in very much the same position in the playoffs. Going into the scheduled 6th game with California, they are down 3-2, just as they were with Cincinnati. They're still alive now thanks to a heroic effort Sunday in which they turned fear and trembling into wild joy at the last minute, exactly as they did in the clutch 11 seasons ago. Whatever happens now, Boston fans will have that game to remember.
In any event, we may not see you next Tuesday night. We're giving up our hour for yet another baseball game, the 3rd game of the World Series. Unless there's a rainout, in which case we will be here. We work rain or shine.
That's our broadcast for tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Stop squirming. This'll take care of your sore throat. Trust me.
Tastes great. Sucrete spray? But sprays don't last long enough.
Maximum strength Sucrete spray does.
Compare Sucretes to the other leading brand. Only Sucretes has diclonine for longer-lasting temporary relief of minor sore throat pain. Sucrete spray lasts twice as long.
Trust me?
I still feel great. Maximum strength Sucrete spray lasts twice as long.
Get this NFL travel bag with your team's emblem and colors free when you buy 10 rolls or more of Owens Corning insulation.
We asked 1,000 doctors if stranded in the wilderness, which would they want? Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol, Advil, or Bayer. More doctors chose Bayer, nearly 2-to-1 over extra strength Tylenol. Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
Friday on Miami Vice.
I'm not going to send my partner on some suicide mission.
When Tubbs poses as a convict, an undercover assignment becomes a death sentence. Then on L.A. Law. No trouble? Will Cusack's romance blossom?
You are pestering me beyond the limits of good taste.
Or will his motion be denied?
Friday.
An American tradition continues when baseball's Fall Classic returns to NBC. The World Series is home Saturday.
Tonight on the scene at 10, a small turnout for a big name. A controversial project may soon become a reality in some metro schools. Soviet leader Gorbachev tells his side of the story, and country music's best in our series, A Week in the Country. That's coming up next.
It's sneaker wars, and millions of dollars are at stake as Nike takes to the trenches against invading hordes of Reeboks. Tomorrow on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
This week on Days of Our Lives, Mike and Robin.
I want you to stay the night.
Will they fulfill their heart's desire?
Let me love you.
This week.
KDF's Carl P. Mayfield with more free money.
Do you know your own birthday? Then you could win $10,000 from Nashville City Bank this Thursday morning. Set your radio to 103.3 FM, and at 7:25 Thursday morning, we'll announce the birthday in this envelope. If it matches yours, you could win $10,000.
Show 'em, darling.
KDF. More music, more winners, and more free money.
Listen to KDF Thursday morning at 7:25, and you could win all this. Well, at least the money.